All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down the President's National Cyber Strategy for America. Now, this is a pretty big deal because the document lays out a brand new, much more assertive vision for the nation's role in the digital world. This isn't just a minor update. The text really presents it as a fundamental shift in how things are going to be done.
The whole thing kicks off with this letter, which basically sets the stage for the core mission. The message? To make sure that America remains completely unrivaled in cyberspace. It talks about using both offensive and defensive cyber capabilities to protect the nation. So right from the get-go, the goal is crystal clear: dominate the digital domain. And this line right here, it just perfectly sums up the new vibe. This single, powerful statement from the introduction signals a big move away from what the document describes as kind of wishy-washy strategies of the past. Instead, it's promising a much more direct and forceful posture online.
So you might be asking, why the need for such a strong stance? Well, to really get what this strategy is all about, we first have to understand the threat landscape as the document itself defines it. And let me tell you, it paints a picture of a digital world that is, frankly, pretty dangerous.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. The strategy frames this whole conflict as something much bigger than just hackers trying to steal your credit card info. According to the document, this is an ideological battle. It's democracy versus authoritarianism, and the fight is happening right now in the digital realm.
And the document makes this threat deeply personal. This isn't some abstract national security issue happening somewhere far away. No, as you can see here, the stated targets are everyday Americans, our families, our neighbors, and the essential services we all count on, from local hospitals to our banks.
So you've got this clear showdown, right? On one side, you have these adversaries trying to undermine American life. And on the other, you have the strategy's big picture goal, to be a shield, protecting the safety, security, and prosperity of the American people. This really sets the stage for the whole plan of action.
Which leads us right into the heart of the document, a detailed blueprint for cyber defense that's built on 6 distinct pillars. This is the how of the strategy, the comprehensive approach that's designed to counter all those threats we just talked about.
And here they are. We're going to walk through each one, but just at a glance, you can see they cover a ton of ground. We're talking everything from directly confronting our adversaries to seriously beefing up our own systems, regulations, and of course, our workforce.
Let's start with the first pillar, because this one is all about taking a much more proactive and you could even say offensive stance. The strategy basically argues that the U.S. can't just sit back and play defense. It needs to be actively working to change how its adversaries operate online. And the actions laid out here are pretty aggressive. We're talking about deploying the full suite of cyber operations to actively disrupt and dismantle enemy networks. The idea is to make it so costly and so difficult for them to attack that they think twice. It's about taking the fight to them. Okay, Pillar 2 kind of flips the script. Now we're looking inward at the rules and regulations that govern cybersecurity here at home, especially in the private sector. The argument here is that the current system is just too clunky and burdensome.
So the plan calls for streamlining all these rules. The goal is to get rid of what the document calls ineffective regulations, all the costly checklists and red tape, so that companies can be more agile and actually respond to threats without being bogged down.
Next up, Pillar 3. This one's all about the government getting its own house in order. The strategy is very blunt about this, pointing out that federal systems are in need of a serious upgrade to defend against modern threats.
And we're not talking about small tweaks. The proposed upgrades are totally cutting edge. It calls for things like implementing a zero-trust model, getting ready for the threat of quantum computing with new cryptography, and leaning heavily into AI to defend networks. This is all about future-proofing the government's own digital infrastructure.
So, from government networks, Pillar 4 zooms out to focus on the services that are really the backbone of the entire country. We're talking about the power grid, our financial systems, hospitals, you name it.
The plan here is really a 1-2 punch. First, harden these essential systems to make them tougher to attack. And second, secure the supply chains they rely on, which includes a very specific call to move away from using technology and products from adversary nations.
Pillar 5 is all about looking to the future. It's not just about defending what we have today, but about making sure the U.S. stays in the lead when it comes to developing the secure technologies of tomorrow. This is about playing the long game.
And the focus here is laser sharp on that next-gen tech.
The strategy really emphasizes securing the entire AI pipeline, from data centers to algorithms, promoting post-quantum cryptography, and even supporting secure cryptocurrencies. It's all geared toward maintaining America's technological edge.
And that brings us to the final pillar, number 6. And this one's all about people. The document identifies the American cyber workforce as a key strategic asset that absolutely has to be cultivated and expanded.
So the crucial point here is investing in our people. The strategy calls for building a super strong talent pipeline, all the way from schools to corporations. It also talks about breaking down the barriers so the best and brightest can easily move between the private sector, government, and the military. So when you put it all together, these 6 pillars form a really comprehensive plan, proactively going after adversaries abroad while hardening our defenses right here at home.
So, after laying out those 6 pillars, the document concludes by painting a picture of the path forward. It summarizes the ultimate vision for what this new, proactive approach to cybersecurity is really aiming to achieve. This statement, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It really captures the determined, no-nonsense tone of the entire strategy. It leaves zero room for doubt, promising decisive and sustained action against anyone who poses a cyber threat to the country.
So to wrap this all up, what we're looking at is a major shift towards a much more assertive, proactive stance in cyberspace, all built on those 6 key pillars. The document talks about unleashing innovation and forging this unprecedented partnership between the government and private industry. It really leaves us with a huge question to think about. If this strategy is fully realized, what will this new era of American cyber defense actually look like in practice?